We're going to get into this final regular season week with Ricks versus Gricks. But, boys,
Hi.
we have a shocking twist here. Because
how fucking convenient.
We were talking about, everything going into this. And Luis Martinez, he can't be here tonight. We hope he feels better. It's, 'tis the season to feel like shit. So feel better, buddy. We got you in the corner right above Zoo's head as like a hat. And he's out of it. He can't really compete here. And the way that the records are at right now, and I'll throw them out right here. Zoo, congrats. He went 6-0 last week. Again, he had another 6-0 week. He is now 64-36 on the season. Not completely run away with it, but it's going to be very hard to catch you here. I am second place right now. I went 4-2 last week, 4 Zoo. I'm 59-41 on the year. Scott went 5-1 last week. Congrats to him. He is 53-48 on the season. Luis, he went 0-4 last week. He's 45-55. So, he's out of it. He can pick for fun as we go into this and compete. I need to have a perfect week, and I need to go completely pretty much against Zoo to have a shot at winning this thing. Scott needs absolute chaos to try and get into second place here and needs to strategize how he's going to do it. But I forgot about something that's been sitting on my desk and that's been sitting behind me with these mini Funkos, right? Where we picked, all of us, I had a Funko advent calendar. It did not make it into the show because Reid was tired. Your baby boy was tired. And he did not get to edit all of this into the thing. But Zoo and I, and then Scott and Luis sent their picks later. We predicted of these 24, the 24 players, it was 24 days on the advent calendar, a different NFL Funko mini player, such as, let's say, Derek Carr right here. Oh, there we go. We evened out. Derek Carr. We predicted which player would represent each team. I gave them the team. They picked the player. The winner of this, and it's what I have in my notes, is the winner, whoever got the most correct, would get 6 wins, and it would pretty much be 6 of their losses erased and 6 wins added. So it's just pretty much a swap here. Here's how this went. Luis, he got 7 correct. He did not win. He didn't win. Luis only got 7 of the 24. I got 11 of the 24.
Wow.
Unfortunately, these two beat me. So I didn't get in there. Now, for the dramatic approach, who would like to be named first? Who got what? Who say Buzz? Oh, he's pointing at Zoo. Okay, all right. So in this, Zoo.
It never goes well when I'm up against Scott.
Out of the 24, Zoo got 13 correct.
Wow.
That is pretty damn good. Scott got.
How many did I lose by?
Scott got 14 correct.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So Scott won by one person here. And it's funny because we differed on a lot and we got a shit ton wrong on these things, but Scott got the win here. So Scott's total now.
We also didn't know what year these fucking players were.
That's
decided.
That's what messed us up. That was
the biggest one that made me go, why?
But the weird thing was, we picked players from last year because that's what it seemed like it would be. And Luis picked players from this year and seemed like he was going to get them all incorrect. But then Kirk Cousins showed up for the Falcons. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be, but Saquon Barkley showed up for the Giants. I don't know what Funko was doing here, but I think there was a little bit of collusion on the company's part. We'll send in an official complaint as to Scott's winnings here. But ultimately, Scott's record now changes because the Super Grick happened earlier in the season, and he was the only one who tried to pick an upset, and it got him seven extra losses. So now he's
Take those 6 away.
Take 6 away. So now you're still in third place because you have one more loss than me. You are 59-42. 59 and 40 Zoo on this thing. So
yes.
Scott is all of a sudden right back in the mix.
Just like fantasy football, baby. Just get in there. Just got to squeak in.
So how we're going to do it this week, because Zoo's in the lead. Zoo's lead dog. We could take it to a vote. I think Zoo should pick first with each thing. How do you feel about that, Zoo? Do you feel confident in yourself to be the lead picker here?
Well, given that I never pay attention to him until I open the document up right before picking time, sure, let's go for it.
Make him do it.
I have no insight.
He's got nothing to lose. It's time for Ricks versus Gricks, the final showdown.
Time, space, referee decision-making. These are all just some of the mysterious, uncontrollable strands of life that make up the massive universe that we call home, and the comfort food for the soul that we call sports. As most people journey through it with no idea where to go or what to do, a select few will help you navigate the terror, frustration, and endless possibilities of making a 50-50 choice. This is Ricks versus Gricks.
That's right, this is Ricks versus Gricks, Reid's picks versus Griffin's picks, and it is NFL Week 18, last week of the NFL regular season. So, let's jump into it, man. Let's jump right in. We have a lot of games, and we tried to pick all the games that have some type of meaning in this final week, because we have plenty of shit games. Shout out Cardinals, 49ers. Means absolutely nothing. Josh Dobbs' revenge game, though. Just keep your eye out on him. The
contract game.
Yeah, the contract game. First game up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 8-8. They are at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 10-6. Cincinnati, 1.5 point favorite on the road in this one. Zoo, who are you taking here?
While they are frauds, I feel like the Steelers' defense is going to give Burrow a hard time, and I feel like Burrow's defense is going to let him down for the final time this season. I don't think the AFC wants to go against playoff Burrow, and everyone is going to be giving all of their willpower to make sure that he doesn't. So I think the Steelers are going to take this one.
All right. We are confidently against each other on this one. I already had my pick down. I have the Bengals winning this one. Not just because I have to go against you, but I think that Joe Burrow is playing his ass off. He is a legit MVP contender, even if you can't, wins, I do think need to be a part of MVP rankings. That's what we've been doing on the top 5. If you follow at 323Reid, at 323REID on all social media, I can't put Burrow firmly in there until he makes the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, I think you have a legit argument for him as MVP. I think Burrow continues to play his ass off. He's motivating T. Higgins. He's motivating Jamar Chase. He's motivating that offense. I don't know what the defense can do, but if they can do just enough to, shut down Russell Wilson and the remnants of Najee Harris, you got something there. So give me the Bengals here. Scott, how about you?
Yeah, I'm also going to be taking the Bengals. They're playing for a wild card spot. The Steelers and the Ravens are, vying for the AFC North title. And I don't like giving the Steelers anything, but more importantly, I like giving people their money when they deserve it. Tight end Mike Gesicki has already locked in $375,000 worth of bonuses for receptions and receiving yards. He can add another $125K with just 3 receiving yards this weekend. He is going to be an upcoming unrestricted free agent, so get that money while you can, Mike, and we're going to go with the Bengals.
Bengals. All right. Next up, we have an NFC South battle. We have the first of 2. The Carolina Panthers, who are 4-12. They are taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who are 8-8. Atlanta is an 8-point favorite at home in this one. Zoo, who are you going to take?
While I think Bryce Young is going to have a game that reminds people why he deserves to be a starting quarterback, the Falcons have too much to play for right now, and I think they're all going to bring up their big Penix energy for a win.
Big Penix energy. Scott, who are you going to take here?
Selfishly, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I would like the Falcons to lose. And the only way to do that is if the Panthers can muster up some kind of win. They're 1-6 on the road this season. But if you look at the last last couple of weeks, they have been holding their own against the likes of the Chiefs, the Eagles. I mean, they had the Bucks lost to them by 3 points. I'm going to get the Panthers in a trap game, and the Falcons are going to shit their pants.
Fair enough. I am actually rolling with you on this one. I am taking the Carolina Panthers here. I think that they are a team that they're a team that nobody wants to face right now, right? Like, nobody wants to take on the Panthers. It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous mission that you're going against here. They're just a team that's a little more motivated. Bryce Young has some confidence in him, and I like dream killer teams. I think that the Panthers are going to relish in an opportunity to kill a division rival's dreams. And I think of the two division games that we have here in the NFC South, they have the better shot of doing that and being official dream killers. So give me the Panthers here to end their season on a bright note. Next up, NFC South again, we have the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-11, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 9-7. Tampa Bay is a 13.5 point favorite in this one. They need it. They need a win here. Zoo, who are you going to take?
While that defense is annoyingly good, Mayfield Magic cannot lose to the likes of Hayner, Rattler, and Carr. So we're going with the Bucs.
All right. I can only agree with you so many times in, this week, and this is going to be the one time that I do it. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I still believe there's some fraudulence there, but the Saints, God, man, like that defense has a little bit of might to it, but I think it all falls apart here. I don't think there's any more Riz for the Rizinator, Coach Darren Rizzi. This is where the party's going to end. Tampa Bay is going to do what they need to do to get into the playoffs and clinch the South with this and get a win. Scott?
I mean, do I have to tell you what my pick is? Do I have to tell you my justification? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans, he needs 85 more yards this Sunday for his 11th straight 1,000-yard season. Easily a first ballot Hall of Famer. Another one of those guys who has some salary incentives tied to this. He can add another $3 million with just 5 catches and that 85 yards this weekend. But also Baker Mayfield can secure another $500K if he's top 5 in passer rating. He's currently 4th. And of course, there's some other money tied into there as well. But give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a lot.
13.5. 13.5 sounds right. That sounds right for me. NFC East rivalry rematch here. We have the Washington Commanders. I'm sorry. Take it, John.
The fucking Commanders! Ah!
They are taking on, at 11-5, the Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-9. Washington is a 4.5 point favorite on the road in this one. Zoo, who are you taking?
Commanders had no business losing the last matchup against the Cowboys. This definitely has revenge written all over it. They have a lot to play for. I want that 6th seed. I want them to play the Rams in the playoffs. So we are going Commanders.
Scott, who do you want here?
There's going to be a common thread with these incentives. Zach Ertz has already secured $750,000 based on receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He needs 9 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns away from further bonuses. And I think Jay Daniels is going to get him that money. And fuck the Cowboys. Go, Washington, go.
And Terry McLaurin needs 1 more touchdown to be the first receiver in franchise history to pass 12 touchdowns by wide receiver.
I would love it. And for all intents and purposes, and I'll throw my cards out here. God damn it, I want to win this Ricks versus Gricks thing. I want an upset here. I don't want to pick Dallas, but I want us to get into the playoffs healthy. I want us to get into the playoffs feeling fine. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys here, just to spite Zoo. But also, there's this whole deal, like, if things aren't going right, if Micah Parsons is breaking through that line, if things are feeling a little dicey for the team, I could see the starters leaving the first half, especially if it's not, like, particularly close. If the Cowboys can get a good head start like last time, I don't feel good for it. And I don't really have real analysis here. I just need to I need to be the opposite. I want the Commanders to win. I'll be rooting hard. I'll be wearing my Jaden Daniels jersey while doing it too. But I'm taking the Cowboys in this one just out of spite. Also, fuck the Cowboys, by the way, because there's a report that Cooper Rush might not start. They're still trying to decide who the starting quarterback in this game is going to be between him and Trey Lance. No real particular reason given, except people have noticed with contract incentives and all these bonuses and shit, Cooper Rush needs to play 55% of his snaps in order to achieve a $250,000 bonus. So far in the season, he has played 52.3% of the snaps. So he needs this game. He needs to start. He needs to play through this game to meet his incentives and get his bonus. Cowboys look like they might be trying to cheap out on that. So fuck them. I'm taking the Cowboys. But still fuck them. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins 8-8 at the New York Jets, who are 4-12. Miami's a 1.5 point favorite as they need to win and do a lot more, get a lot of help to make the playoffs here. Jets could be party crashers and saying goodbye to Aaron Rodgers, a little farewell game. Zoo, who are you going to take here?
I was leaning towards the Dolphins trying to get a spot, but I could see this as a divisional FU where the Jets just happen to step up. So we're going to go with the Jets.
All right. Scott, how about you?
We're going to continue the theme of incentives here. There's 3 defenders for the Dolphins who need a sack or a sack and a half. You got Tyrell Dotson needs a sack for $300K. Emmanuel Ogbah needs a sack and a half for $500K. And then Calais Campbell, that's right, Calais Campbell, who's still playing at the ripe age of 38, needs 1 sack for $300,000. I have the Dolphins absolutely swarming the Jets offense all day long. Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, normally I would want to say Jets. I would want to say, this is one of those weird divisional games. The Dolphins have kind of had that season a little bit where things go wrong at the worst times. But it's also the Jets in, one of the Jetsiest years they have ever had. And, we're talking about a teenager named Brick Johnson calling the shots through Madden on this fucking team. I just see this ending in a very Jetsy way with shitty performance, terrible turnovers, Dolphins defense doing everything they can to try and make this playoff run, and maybe one last hurrah from Tyreek Hill before he inevitably requests a trade in the offseason and things get dramatic or whatever the hell is going to go on. Dolphins will get the win here. They'll probably still miss the playoffs, though. And that's just how the season's gone for them. Too little, too late. Finally, game of the week, game of the year, game arguably of regular season history in the NFL. We have the Minnesota Vikings, who are 14-2, at the Detroit Lions, who are also 14-2. Detroit is a 2.5 point favorite. There has never been a game in the history of the regular season in the NFL that has been between 2 teams with this combined high of a record. Never had this many wins between 2 teams in a game. This is also a game for the NFC North title and a game where the winner will be the number 1 seed in the NFC and have home field advantage throughout. That means a 14-win team between the Vikings and the Lions is going to be the number 5 seed in the playoffs, a wild card team that will have to start their playoff and their postseason on the road. Very important, critical game here. Zoo, who are you going to take?
I don't know. So I'm just going to say the Vikings.
Tie.
He's taking
going with the Vikings.
He's taking the Vikings there. Okay, that's fair. It's a tough one. It's one of those ones that you can kind of do that on.
I also have a question for you in regards of seeding when we're done with this.
Okay. Scott, who do you want here?
This is going to be close. I mean, you have 2 quarterbacks with very comparable stats. You have 2 running backs with very comparable stats. You have 2 receivers, studs on each side of the ball with very comparable stats. And it literally could be anybody. But Detroit's offense is outscored Minnesota's on the year by like 100, 120 points, I think, last time I checked at it. And they're playing in Detroit at home in a dome. That's where Jared Goff loves to play. So give me the Lions at home.
All right. I agree with both of you so much on this that this is just almost a coin flip kind of game. I should go for a tie, right? That would give me the win on this whole thing. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. They've been fun, feisty, and tough to beat in prime time, especially in Detroit, especially on these like final clutch game of the season, in the Dan Campbell era. I have the Lions doing just enough to get this win. They need the bye week bad, especially with everything health-wise. I was shocked that they played their starters for the entire game on Monday night against the 49ers. It was all about vibes, apparently, and that's a Dan Campbell thing. Hopefully, they can get into the postseason healthy. Vikings are tough, though. Vikings are fun. Legit. Probably one of the most fun teams I've seen, including with their chemistry, everything that's been going on. The High School Musical celebration that they had last week was awesome.
That was epic.
And Brian Flores has done a great job on defense, but that Lions offense is just so creative, so powerful, so fun. We even saw recently they were showing who's the safety blanket receivers for all these teams. And, just a receiver that the quarterback is going to throw to no matter what for absolute safety. Plenty of them throughout the league in that region, but Justin Jefferson was almost like on his own tier of players that Sam Darnold has been throwing to with confidence, and he's talented enough to make it happen. I just think that Aaron Glenn and the Lions defense are going to make a priority of shutting him down and trying to take him out just enough where the Vikings are going to have to try and get a little more creative to stop them. I don't think it happens. So Detroit Lions will be the kings of the North here.